Hey, I'm Max, also known as Ren Harasaki, the resident Zelda expert here at GameSpot with about 5,000 hours in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom combined. Today we'll be breaking down a couple cool clips that people have sent us, so let's just get to it. Nice. God, I love the gliding suit. Interesting. This is before the patch, I believe. There's a couple things going on here. So first of all, he's cut out some menus, so you can't really see what's going on behind the scenes, but he's obviously pausing the menu. There's a couple ways to drop items. You can drop it through the D-pad quick menu, but you can only drop it one at a time there. Every single time he's dropping bombs here, it's a pack of like 10. So yeah, he's dropping them through the pause menu, which you could drop more items at the same time. Zona items specifically, you could drop 10 in a row, so that's why he's dropping so many. As for how he's staying up that entire time, I don't, well, because oh, wait, hold on. So looking back really quickly, there's a quest that does trigger a glitch that looks similar to this, so I'm guessing that's what this is. There's a glitch that can be triggered from one of the Great Fairy quests, where you can try to lift up one of the bards out of a hole to help him out to get back to his band, basically. Something during that quest triggers a glitch for Link to be at the same level forever. Basically something similar to Moon Jump in Breath of the Wild, but not quite really. And it looks like he's probably taking advantage of that glitch. I don't know what it's called, but this, it looks like, can be taken advantage of with the gliding suit. Because you're high enough, you can get into the diving animation, which can help you move around quickly with the wingsuit. So that's what I'm guessing, because the guardless active shield glitch does not allow you to stay up infinitely like this. So that's my best guess. I'll probably find out afterwards with my own research on what actually happened, because I'm actually curious now, but that's my best guess for now. Shrine run, interesting. Oh, I love these. Nice. Okay. Nice. Okay. Rockets in shrines are Omega OP. They are very, very useful. A lot of new players, when they played Tears of the Kingdom, they go into a shrine with rockets and they're like, it's so easy. It's you know, why did they even include this? They didn't think about this, but Nintendo definitely knew about rocket shields. They knew about the power of rocket shields. There's actually a specific level which teaches you how to use rocket shields mid-shrine. So they knew about all these tricks, but they inherently had this kept in the game, so then you'd feel smart circumnavigating puzzles like this. So it's great for speedruns and possibly individual levels. Individual levels is a subcategory for speedruns, which is just singularly just a speedrun for like just a shrine or just a dungeon. You know, these tools can be great for those. I've seen a lot of bomb jumping and a lot of rocket shielding for those speedruns. It's pretty simple and straightforward. He used a rocket shield to move forward while gliding, so it gives you a lot of forward speed, and then used it, of course, just by standing and then having the rocket shield propel you upwards to get over that puzzle. Nice. Nice. Okay, cool. Very nice, okay. All right, so a couple of these tricks I was actually involved in finding. First, he does guardless active shield, which we've covered before. Basically having the fan actively working on your back, which can cause a whole bunch of really cool tricks to happen. Now, with stones or with big batteries, if you're holding the object above your head, you can quickly ascend into the object that you're holding. This can get you some quick bullet time out in the field, but when this trick and guardless active shield are combined, some really weird things happen. With stones and with big batteries, and I think another item specifically, it causes you to launch in very weird directions. Stones cause you to go horizontally very quickly, and big batteries let you launch up very high, which I'll show here. So at the same time, if you also flurry rush after that, so this is 3 tricks at the same time basically, you can cause some really weird things to happen. So you can obviously flurry rush from a massive distance from high up or from far away like this. So what he's using here is called a bomb sword SBR. He's got a bomb fused to a sword, which he then hits the Lionel, jumps and blocks the explosion, and backflips out of it to get bullet time. Now this trick I found before Tears of the Kingdom even launched. Shield block reset is an old trick from Breath of the Wild which still works in Tears of the Kingdom, which is blocking a bomb or attack, then getting a double jump, then high enough to get bullet time. This is extremely hard because you have to jump right as you hit the enemy. It's almost frame perfect, but it is an interesting trick because you explode the enemy and then go into bullet time immediately. So it's a pretty cool combat technique. So then it goes into bullet time, headshots to the Lionel, stuns it, mounts it, which you can do. Just same as Breath of the Wild, if you're mounting a Lionel, in that situation specifically, any weapon has no durability taken away while you're hitting it, so you can use a weapon that's about to break on a Lionel's back, keep hitting it, and you'll be totally fine, it won't break. Which is pretty useful because some weapons are able to get some extra crit or extra damage up when it's about to break. So in those situations, you can get some extra damage for free while mounting a Lionel because the weapon won't break. Then he uses the power of the updraft to get in the air, uses a spring shield to bounce again, then goes for the headshot. So this trick is not too difficult if you're used to combat. Again, I don't know from a casual player's perspective how tough this would be, but he actually did the slightly harder version because it looked like he wasn't locking on. Locking on makes it a little more repeatable. But yeah, this is you have to time both the ascend and of course the flurry rush right after. It's actually a little bit easier than it looks in these examples because ascend of course freezes time, so you don't have to like time it as they're coming in. It's pretty much like right on the dot. Once they're attacking, you just hit ascend. So yeah, not too bad. That was a quadruple SBR. That is some really tough stuff, and it's kind of hard to explain here because he didn't show anything before or after. But what's happening here is a trick called shield block reset being triggered multiple times over and over, hence at quadruple SBR. It kind of sucks that it didn't show the first like 10 seconds before this. Before all of this was triggered, he strapped a bomb onto a rocket and sent it upwards. That bomb went flying into the air and had hang time for about 15 seconds maybe. And at that point you have some time to set up some other tricks on the ground to wait till it comes back down. So the first explosion was him shooting a bomb arrow, then him jumping forward, blocking the explosion, and then doing an SBR. That's the first shield block reset. The second explosion is from the stake that was in front of it from the time bomb. So then that's the second SBR. Then the third SBR is from the sword that's in his hand yet, which had the time bomb attached to it. I don't know how he timed all these, but that's just insane how he set this up. And then the fourth one was from the bomb that was sent up into the air about 15 seconds earlier. This requires a lot of preparation and timing. I don't know how practical this is in a real fight, but just the fact that it's possible is just pretty damn cool in my opinion. Oh, nice. I like he used the edge there. Nice. That's a little close. Oh. How is he going to get out of this one? Oh, interesting. So he's got a bomb fused to his shield, does a bomb shield launch, and gets a little bit more height because he jumped onto this little corner right here, so that's nice. Switches to a rocket shield to get forward momentum, and gets onto this tiny edge to get a second bomb shield jump. That's pretty difficult to get the aim down there. So the interesting thing I like about this clip is with these targets here, you normally need to like throw a heavy weight or get some momentum to hit that target to then trigger the switch. Of course, people know from Breath of the Wild that previously you could just bomb the target because that is enough force technically to trigger the switch. The interesting thing is that he was doing it point blank. Now, obviously, that would trigger you to just fall to the ground and fall down, which he probably would have done here because that's an abyss right below him. Or maybe he would have landed onto that edge, but the cool thing about triggering these switches is that he's able to reset his momentum. So he's able to immediately get back up and paraglide to safety without falling into the abyss. So pretty good use of the cutscene to save himself. So first, he's in a thunderstorm, obviously coming in from above. He shoots a sapphire, which has a huge explosion radius for freezing ice. So he hits that right in the middle of the pack to freeze them all at once. Does pretty good damage too. So then he plunge attacks the back of the pack, killing a whole bunch of them, obviously, because they get ×3 damage from getting struck out of freeze. And also then gets Thunderstruck himself, which does another layer of damage afterwards. Now the Thunderstrike has changed from Breath of the Wild to Tears of the Kingdom. The Thunderstrike, when it hits you specifically, in Breath of the Wild it had a small radius, which then hurt enemies, but the radius and the damage has been buffed in Tears of the Kingdom, so it does a lot more damage now. So how Riju works in Tears of the Kingdom is that you hit the ability and then her radius expands, and then whatever you shoot with an arrow within that radius will get struck by lightning. During that, he does another trick called Bomb Drop SBR. It is extremely hard to see here because it happens in like literally a split second. But what's happening here is when you drop an item, it'll drop it for a couple frames right in front of Link. And in that time, if you hit with the sword, the moment that you're dropping that item, it will obviously explode the bomb. And that can trigger a shield block reset. So very quickly, he's dropping the bomb, hitting it with the sword, jumping forward into the bomb with the shield to then trigger a shield block reset. It's a bunch of things happening at once, but in combat, it's pretty useful because then you get bullet time, which is a bunch of damage in slow-mo. Very useful. So then he gets into the air in bullet time. Looks like attaches topazes, possibly. I couldn't quite see. With a Savage Lionel bow, it's a multi-shot bow. And does a bunch of AoE damage, and then slams with a cannon-fused sword, I believe? Two-hander. Yes, cannon-fused two-hander. That, of course, blows up the Bokoblin, shoots the boss Bokoblin with lots of AoE Thunderstrike. There's just a bunch of stuff going on here. So a lot of advanced combat, for better or worse, is quite hard to see sometimes. Lots of effects and explosions and things, and you're flying around. As a casual player, you're just looking at the spectacle, but for me, at least for like an advanced combat player, it's cool to see the things broken down and see the separate techniques back to back and just appreciate how hard it is. But most players will just be like, wow, that's cool. I don't know what happened, and just move on. So that's just the reality of advanced combat in Tears of the Kingdom. Well, that was pretty dope stuff. Seen a couple of those things already, so it didn't really throw me off, but nonetheless, really cool to break down. If you want to see more of this stuff, we have more on our GameSpot channel. Of course, I still do tutorials, combat videos. Make sure to follow me at Rin Harasaki, and for everything else gaming, keep it here on GameSpot.